Hey, I'm Łukasz. I'm from CallStack. CallStack is really happy that we can support WarsawJS, and we really like WarsawJS. And this is my, 10th time in this community, and I really enjoy being here. I will tell you a few words where you can find us from CallStack later. And now I want to talk about React Native performance cheat codes. This is the title of the talk that I already did. This talk took 25 minutes, so I'm gonna omit all of the implementation details, and I will just speak about the general aspects that you can apply not only to React Native, but to React to any application or any business application, actually. So, I'm Łukasz. I'm a React Native expert at CallStack. I'm a team leader of multi-platform streaming application, and I also host our React Native Show podcast, where we also talk about this process that I'm about to tell you about. So, in performance landscape, there are many materials that you can learn from. And the problem with those materials is that they talk about maybe a single implementation detail, or maybe they talk about a single library or a single debugging tool. To combat that, for React Native, we release yearly React Native, the ultimate guide to React Native optimization, where we go through all of the knowledge that we gathered throughout the years, how to optimize your React Native app. And at CallStack, we have a lot of projects where companies come to us with very badly written projects, maybe, with legacy project, and they are struggling with their app performance. So it's really hard to fix those kind of projects without a unified process. So we have that process. And it starts with letter D, and letter D means don't do too much. And actually, it means define. You need to define your expectation. You need to define your use case. So you ask your client, what are the issues, what are the users complaining about, and what are the most important metrics for your client. And then, for the possible outcomes, you might find out that they don't care about some section of their application because this is going to be deprecated in a while. Or they do have metrics already, and you need to ask what kind of metrics do they have. And obviously, the most important feature is something, and you need to care about that metric the most. And it's nice to know what devices are users using. So that was the D. Then the next cheat code, which is the next letter in our process, is M, meaning make it count and measure. So to measure, so you have defined what your client, what your users care about. Now you have to measure the actual user experience as is right now. So you can measure all of those things or many others. And those tools are React Native specific, but every framework, every technology have their own tools to measure some performance metrics. So for example, React Native Performance Library is compliant with Performance API from web, from browsers. So you can use that in browser projects as well. And stopwatch is a no-brainer. It's an analog technology. So for some gotchas in measurements, you have to make your environment as stable as possible. So your measurements have to be repeatable as much as possible. Then, for the next letter in our process, you have to analyze. So you have your defined use cases, you have your existing metrics, and now you go in there and you dig in, you find the root cause, you analyze. And in analyze, you want to use the tools, again, that comes with your framework, that comes with your technology, that can help you pinpoint the issues that users are complaining about. For the cheat code number I, which is improve or implement, you can actually write some code. So you are writing your code, You have some easy wins. Every technology has some easy wins. That's easy wins for React Native. And you have your usual suspects. That's the usual suspects for React. Like I said in the beginning, in the blogs, in the videos on YouTube, you usually have something like how to not use effect or how to use effect. But honestly, you have to start from the analyze phase and actually determine that your use effects are doing you something bad in your code, because they might not. They might be just 5% of the performance degradation, and something entirely else is giving you a hard time. So, and yeah, that's the advanced solution for React Native. And the cheat code number C is the most important one, in my opinion, and this is control. So I already spoke on WarsawJS like last year about a library called Reassure. And Reassure is a library for React and React Native where you can plug it into your pipeline and actually verify. You can write tests in React Native testing library or in React testing library where you make sure that your render count is not rising, that your function execution time is not rising PR to PR. Again, you have to make sure you have stable environment, and it's great to add it to the pipeline. If you don't want to use Reassure, or you are using some product, some category of application that cannot use Reassure, you can use real user monitoring or any kind of method from the measure step to make your measurements as automated as possible. So you want to make sure that something that you fixed a few months ago stays fixed into the future. Yeah, so that's the process. That's DMIC, and this is a process for performance optimization in particular, but you can apply the same process to many other fields as well. So that was my lightning talk. That took 25 minutes earlier, but I do have some other slides. If you want to...
Other slides?
Yeah, I have 3 more slides.
Okay, go ahead.
If you want to meet with Callstack, meet with me, we are organizing 3 different events in the near future. The first one is that we are co-organizing ReactConf together with Meta next week.
I was not invited. I was really upset. Yeah.
There was a ticket lottery in February, but the conference will be streamed, and there will be a lot of announcements around React, around React Native, stuff like that. Then, Barry, you will be interested in that. You are very, very much invited to this one. We are organizing React Universe Meetup in our offices in Wrocław on June 6th, and you are all invited to join. This is free of charge, and we'll be posting some information how to join this meetup in Wrocław on WarsawJS Slack. And actually, we are partnering with WarsawJS for this meetup, so you are all invited.
Yay!
Beer and pizza. And then last thing that I want to shout out is React Universe Conf. This is the conference that was formerly known as React Native EU. Barry hosted last year. This is happening in September. And you have a 10% discount if you use this code. So I will leave it here, and thank you. Thanks so much.
You see? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? This guy, yeah, really great. Fantastic talk, of course, very informative, very concise. Anyone have any questions? We have time for 1 or 2 questions, maybe.
Hello, really nice talk. I've been doing React Native optimizations for quite some time, and you've discussed lots of tools. All of them are quite good, and I liked your list. My question is, how actually often you get the improvements you desire with restructuring the code, maybe memoization, versus all the other techniques? Because in my experience, like flash list, optimizing images are not as drastic as just reorganizing your code, moving it say down, etc.
Yeah, so like flash list is very React Native specific, and it's a plug and play tool. So it's really easy to plug it in and then check the results. Flash list is mostly in my current project, it mostly gave us a lot of memory consumption decrease. So it saved us around 150 megs, where we have only 700 megs on TV device. So it was very significant for us to use flash list in that regard, but more often than not, like you said, the code reorganization, the wrong usage of use memo, context, and stuff like that is the bigger wins. And also you have to pay a lot more attention to the fixes that you put in place for like wrong uses of context and use memo, broken memoization, than just plug and play flash list.
Was that a good answer for your question, sir? And also a very
Thank
good
you.
question, by the way. Even I understood the question was good. All right. Anyone else? One more question. We have time. Thank you. My behind back's a blind spot.
So that the mic tool methodology looks insanely familiar to the mic methodology used in Lean Six Sigma. Are there any other tools from that tool belt we could use? Like, because Lean Six Sigma is a methodology which uses a lot of process improvement tools.
Well, I guess between business and technology, there are a lot of parallels that you can use. I'm not a Six Sigma myself, so I don't know. And probably it's the same process. So like I said, this process is not strictly for React Native performance optimization. This process is like general to use. It's nice to define your problem, then measure your problem, then analyze, implement, and then control. That's really easy to wrap your head around.
Wow. Do you have experience or what? Because I'm saying this. When a person speaks from experience and they just give you the straightforward answer to the best of their ability, I appreciate that so much. And I think our audience does too, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Łukasz.